Okay, up next, we have our phenomenal teacher panel. We have some powerful women in the room today with us to share with us their experiences about integrating computer science in their classroom with their students in all kinds of different ways. And I will hand it over to Alexandra Cummernis, who is the newest member of our Math Learn team, to be the moderator of this teacher panel. So Alexandra, take it away. I know we've got some fabulous voices here with us to share today. So tell us what's going on.
Hi, so I just wanted to take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Alexandra Cummernis, as Alapia said, and this is my first foray out of the classroom. I was a teacher for a decade. I taught middle school and upper elementary school and went to a tech conference this summer and saw Alapia's session, and I fell in love with MathLearn. I love the product. I was enamored with it and her energy. And I asked her on the spot if she was hiring, and she said yes. And here I am. So I am in my third week. So I'm still brand new, and I am so excited to be hosting this teacher panel because as you've heard, we have some amazing teachers who are here with us today. So I wanted to take a minute to introduce everybody. We have Amanda Bourne, who is a STEM teacher at Hawthorne Middle School South, and that is a suburb of Chicago. And this is her second. And then we have Kim Epps. Kim, if you can give us a wave. Hi, we've got Kim. She is a math teacher at Oceanside High School and Middle School in New York. And she uses app creation as problem-based learning in her classroom and has been working with MathLearn for the last few years. And then we have Lawanda Stevens Sanford. Lawanda, where are you? Sorry, I'm trying to see where everybody is on my screen. There she is. Hi. She is a business education teacher at Arabian Mountain High School near Atlanta, which is not too far from me. I'm in Atlanta as well. And Lawanda was actually in the Marine Corps and in healthcare before she decided to become a teacher, which is very cool, diverse background. And then we have Dr. Joyce King, who is a professor for learning and leadership and the chair of urban teaching at Georgia State University. And Dr. King leads the Guardians of Heritage project, which is a project for mostly high school age students around the US. And there's a group from Brazil as well. And they're supported by adults who get to kind of guide their work through basically guardians who are learning about their heritage and African identity. And then they share that information with their communities. So we're going to hear from each of these teachers how they have integrated app development in their classrooms or their curriculum. So I am going to start off with Lawanda. Do you want to start us off and tell us how you have used app development in your classroom? Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Still got to get used to that.
We've all done it a million times.
Hi, I'm Lawanda Sanford. I teach business and computer science here at Arabian Mountain High School in DeKalb County, Georgia. And I use MathLearn. I've used it for about 3, maybe 4 years now. And I use it for my introductory level students. So my students who are coming in the computer science pathway for introduction to now software technology instead of digital technology. And what they will be doing and what they have done is when we get to the part of the standard where they have to create a website, we do the website first because everybody knows websites, but they don't quite know how to make them. So we give them an opportunity to make their own. But then right behind it, we start making mobile apps. And our students have been able to go in and just open up their own world. One student did an app on travel and food. And so his app, he had so much color, you could almost reach out on the screen and just eat the food from the screen. That's how much color he brought to it and so much creativity. But what I noticed it started doing was opening up the other students to wanting to travel. most students haven't been outside of Lithonia, Georgia, or Decatur, Georgia. And so to hear about foods from places like Italy and be able to see it, and then he integrated Google Earth or something like that into it, and he could kind of see the surrounding land. So it just opened their world up. And I think for introductory level students who may have coded or may not have done any coding, this kind of gets them going, and it kind of makes them eager and more curious to learn about computer science.
Thank you so much for sharing. That sounds amazing. I would love to see. I have to look up the app on food and travel. Those are two of my favorite things.
Oh, yes.
Amanda, can you tell us a little bit about how you use mobile app development in your classroom?
Yes, I'd love to. Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda Bourne. I'm a middle school teacher at Hawthorne Middle School South near Chicago. And I'm currently a STEM teacher, but for the past 15 years, I've been a family and consumer science teacher. So I've always been focused on preparing my students for the workplace. And about 6 years ago, I fell in love with MadLearn, and I realized that I needed and wanted to use computer science in my courses. So I've done that in different ways. At the 7th grade level, I started by offering choice. We're really focused on personalized learning and having our students choose their topic. So the purpose then was just to learn how to create an app. Like, how do we do this? What are the steps? Let's plan, let's research, let's make it. And now my students have just gotten like so into it, they can't get enough. So this year for 8th grade, I've started an appreneurship class, and we're focused on the business of mobile apps. And they are having the best time. We're a couple of weeks in. We have clients, and we're creating apps based on our clients' needs. And it's just been so much fun. And we love every moment. We can never get enough. And this is something where students never ask, like, what are we doing today? Or why are we learning this? When they come in, they are so excited. They want to work. They want to do more. So to me, this is just the perfect resource for computer science.
Thank you. Can you share a little bit more about some of the apps they've created in terms of businesses?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we have so many. We some are focused more on like real estate and Verbo, and they're actually creating the real estate through Home by Me or other like Planner 5D and things like that. And they're making these homes, and then they're like making it into their own like real estate company or Verbo, and they're like linking it in and how people could stay there. We have some kids more interested in like clothing and shoe design, so they'll do that, and then they'll make their app to go along with their client. We have baking operations. They love to bake, so we're doing that and trying different cookies and cakes, and we're making our whole business with order forms. And I still allow them a lot of choice in what they love to learn about and what they like to make, and we're doing apps to go along with it. So it is so much fun.
Thank you. That is incredible. All right, I'm going to call on Kim next. Kim, you're in New York and you're teaching middle school and high school. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. Yes,
Can you tell
I
us
teach.
app creation?
Well, I teach app creation in the middle school, and I love it. They love it. I'm gonna actually take it from a different perspective, from MadLearn's point of view, from a teacher's point of view to MadLearn. They are so supportive. The work is laid out nice, so you could go from any level. The tech support, perfect, wonderful. And they make it easy for the teachers to be able to create and do new things with the students. As for my students, they love, love, love this. Because now in school, I tell them, sometimes we not teach people how to, we just teach students how to follow directions and not to think. Now with MadLearn, they're able to learn how to think independently, to be on the other end of technology Instead of being a consumer, now you could be the creator. And this takes it to such a level, and the students, I think they surprise themselves with the creativity they come up with, and the thought process, and just starting from nothing and end up with this wonderful product. And they're happy, we're happy, the school district loves it, and we really want to grow it. And not only that, we introduce, doing the app, right? We get towards the end of the year, we introduce JavaScript, we introduce CS, we introduce HTML. And for them, just even just have a taste of it, it's amazing. It opens up a whole new world. So hopefully, they will go on and grow with technology and with the computer science. Yeah.
And how have they done with the coding? Did they find it intimidating, or did they just
Not
jump right in?
at all. And and out of the mouth of babes, look, children, they're not afraid. They just go right into it. Give them a new cell phone, go right into a new game, they go right into it. But on the side note, Alexandra, I love your story.
Oh,
Just
thank
walk
you.
in and ask for a job.
Thank you.
I love that story.
I was one of you all, and I was like, I love this product. This is amazing. I'm just going to ask, and I did.
Yeah.
I did not expect it to work out as amazingly as it has, but I feel really lucky.
Yeah, but and Matt learned from a teacher perspective. They have code set, and they have everything that can help you. And even for myself, I've grown. Now I'm learning to do even more in learning different languages because of this. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
What an amazing story. Thank you. And last but not least, we have Dr. King, and you're using MadLearn and mobile app development in a different way than just how a regular classroom teacher might integrate it into your curriculum. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Yes, I'm happy to, and I'm happy to see all these wonderful teachers doing these great things at a time when education is really challenged. So I'll share a little bit about our Guardians of Heritage story. I am a professor in the Educational Policy Studies Department at Georgia State University, where I hold the Benjamin Mays Endowed Chair. And part of my scholarly work is in partnership with communities always. So I'm the sort of visionary founder of the Guardians of Heritage program, which sort of speaks for itself. It's about heritage and culture and learning. And one of my former students from back in the early 2000s had met Alafia, and he told us about MadLearn. And so we had a conversation, and I heard some things about values and the purpose of learning and creativity that really matched what we were trying to do. Our program didn't initially have a computing or a STEM focus in quite this way, but MadLearn was very flexible and imaginative and designed a 6-week app camp for us. Our young people, we have 23 young people from the age of 10 to 17 in cities all across the country and also in Brazil. And the idea of the Guardians of Heritage is a leadership opportunity for young people to learn about their heritage and identity in order to teach other young people and to solve community problems. So MadLearn gave us the opportunity to combine our interest and focused on heritage and identity with technology, and it really appealed to the young people and our parents and elders. We have a very integrated intergenerational out of school program, and part of our goal was not to be like school. Our goal was to be as different from school as possible. And so we have young people in Africatown, Alabama, Long Island, New York, Brooklyn, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, Silicon Valley community, New Orleans, and Salvador, Brazil. I might have left off someone. I'm wearing our MadLearn logo t-shirt. And we have all the cities listed on the back. So our young people experienced an online immersion in culture, heritage, research, interviewing elders, doing lots of things that elevated and centered community needs, not just community problems, but community assets. And that content was what they needed to integrate into the very well organized Mad Learn process. And so they developed apps on topics like reparations, homelessness, gentrification, racial violence, police brutality, Black Panthers, why we need the Black Panthers back again, culture and food. And in Brazil, those young ladies are working on apps that focus on women's experiences resisting oppression in Brazil. So the framing of using Mad Learn was to put culture first and technology second. But of course, the technology is appealing and is exciting in all the ways that you all have said. But we're very happy that we've been able to keep a focus on civic responsibility, cultural heritage, and identity. And right now, we have elders and scholars reviewing the app products so that we can also add community standards for how well these apps will serve the community.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's incredible. I love the idea and message behind what you're doing. And I'm going to turn it back over to Alethea. She is going to, I believe, be fielding your questions, but thank you all for sharing. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Alexandra, for moderating this discussion, and all of you teachers. Thank you so much for sharing your perspectives, your background. One thing that I just want to note is that not all of us come from a CS background or are teaching computer science classes. We wanted to really have this discussion to think about how we can integrate something that is a computer science experience, like app development or like a lot of other things, into a non-CS class, or any classroom, right? You heard me share earlier, I don't know how to code, but I run a tech company. How can we empower our students to be creators of technology in a lot of different settings? Amanda, you talked about choice and a lot of different choice options that you provide your kids. Dr. King, you talked about the cultural focus of your work and bringing technology into that in a meaningful way. So many different examples. So we want to help answer questions from the audience. If there is anyone here that has questions, put them in the chat. If you have questions for any of our educators that are here today, we would love to post those to our teachers and help answer those questions. But one of the things that I know we've been asked a lot is, hey, I'm a history teacher, or I'm an English teacher, or Kim, in your case, you're a math teacher. How are you integrating, or not necessarily integrating, how did the idea for app development make sense in your particular classroom? And I want to ask this Kim, and also want to hand over to Amanda after that. Both of you started with not app classes, not technology classes that you were teaching. So Kim, tell us a little bit about how you brought app development into math, for example.
Well, actually, the class that I have is strictly app creation. It's strictly app creation, and it's 2 classes. So we meet every other day. So strictly app creation. So
that's amazing.
There is no distractions up to that way. And yes, it can be integrated, but in this particular case, I want them to have the freedom to create, literally to create. So it is separate.
Wonderful. No, thank you for sharing and clarifying that, right? I didn't remember that. And it's great that you have that now. And you maybe didn't have that 5 years ago, but now you actually have.
Now we have it.
An app development class. Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Amanda, tell us how did the idea for offering an app development option even come into your family and computer sciences classes that you taught with your kids?
Yeah, so our focus in family and consumer science is the work of the workplace. And how am I going to prepare my students to be the most competitive and have the best skill set if I didn't start doing something with computer science? So I knew nothing when I went into it, and I started with a unit, a 2-week unit. And then we just kept building from there. And now it's turned into a whole class. It's just so amazing. But I just started slow. I knew like I could always reach out for help. You guys truly are the best, and get back to me right away if I need anything. And I just knew I needed to do it for my students. I need to give them that opportunity. So yeah, we started with a unit and they chose their topic and we went through step by step, and I would just start class by showing them what to do for the day. And then from there, it's just gone on to much more independent study. They're able to do a lot of it on their own now. And it's just so incredible what they've been able to do just from starting with one unit to now going into a full class. It's amazing.
Wow, thank you, Amanda, for sharing. Lawanda, tell us. So you're a CTAE teacher, and CTE, CTAE is something we have in different forms all across the country. We see a lot of different CTE courses being able to implement app development. You are a business teacher, and you teach business classes. How did this idea for apps or integrating more technology into your class kind of come about in your mind? How has it developed over the last few years?
So I started out teaching 1 year of business. And after that, I started teaching the computer science pathway. So I was already there.
Lovely.
So when I heard about MadLearn that first year, I was like, it was something that we had to do. For me, it's just the best introduction to coding, to programming. Sometimes students, of course, we're not a community school here at Arabia, so it's school choice. And a lot of students, because they come from all over the county, they may not be as familiar with programming, with coding, or haven't even had access or been exposed to it. So being able to introduce them to that, just dealing with the IDT standards or IST standards, it just kind of opened them up. And so I've been able to not only keep it for my pathway, but I've shared it with the healthcare pathway and the engineering pathway. And in our healthcare pathway, those students used MadLearn. They were able to take MadLearn, use it to create a healthcare invention, and they won state for their HOSA championship. And just to let you know, they ended up needing to do a little bit more, and they branched out a little bit, but they ended up winning nationals. But and it was at the international conference this summer. But the idea started, they had the opportunity right with MadLearn. It gave them the platform that they needed to introduce this medical invention to help people who were struggling with epilepsy. So MadLearn is just a great foundation. It gives us the foundation that we need to help from mental awareness. I'm seeing so many apps with that. And being in CTAE, we kind of have the privilege, we connect with everything. So we can easily kind of slip an app development or slip something else in there, just so that students can grow and kind of expand a little bit and give them the opportunity to discuss things that are near and dear to them.
Thank you, Lawanda. And I had not heard about the healthcare student, so please share that with us.
Yes, that's Mr. Gray. He started out as one of the judges for the Shark Tank, and he was very interested from there. And last year, they won state using MadLearn.
Wow. Absolutely lovely. Thank you. Dr. King, tell us, Dr. King, something that you saw as a reaction from students in terms of, actually, these are all students that guardians that have not built technology before. They have not created a website before, for the most part. Maybe none of them, I think, had app development experience. This was their first experience. What was some feedback that you heard from the guardians, from the Jegnas, the adults that were working with them as well? Tell us some of the feedback that you got from students with that first aha moment of creating something and seeing it on their phone.
Well, we did have some young people who had previous experience, some levels of experience, and then we had some who had no experience whatsoever. So because we were a collaborative and in our app camp together, we had a range of experiences. To answer that question, I actually contacted some of the parents because our app camp included not only the young people, but the community volunteers, graduate students, family members. So we had an eclectic experience. And when I contacted some of the parents, they said, well, my child had the experience of building an app from beginning to end. Another young person who actually did have some prior experience reported to his parents that it helped him understand more about coding. We had a 10-year-old who did an app on miseducation. And so her app experience helped her to put her ideas that she was focusing on about miseducation together. Someone else reported that the mind map was very helpful in organizing their thinking and their ideas. As we look at the apps that they've done, we would like to get a more coherent narrative going about the idea, the community, and the problem solution that they're coming up with. So we're sort of at the beginning of a process that we hope will continue even after the app partnership ends, but that they will be able to continue with the design thinking and the application of that thinking to problem solving.
Thank you, Dr. King. And you're so right. The design thinking process is critical, right? Be it for an app or for anything else, it's about identifying problems and figuring out solutions that can help solve them. Again, back to the entrepreneurial spirit, right? So thank you, teachers. This does conclude our teacher panel. We have so appreciated hearing your insight, hearing your experiences. We are so honored to have you join us today. Dr. King, Amanda, Kim, Lawanda, thank you so much for the work that you do for your students in one way or another. Keep doing those great things. Your kids need you. And for all of the educators in the room, please join me in giving them a round of applause and support and hearts and good vibes, because we know we need all of those things to keep doing this amazing work. Thank you all.